Shalom. And let's start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to those for that just pushing this truth across the four corners of the earth, all for truth and sincerity. I'm gonna want to buy back again, not sitting. This one going to, this guy right here. I have, this picture right here of this guy, Jesse Jackson, that had died today. F Jackson, and that's right, and this guy, Jesse Jackson, pushed, false, information, and was a false leader for, Israelites, so-called Negroes, he gave the name African American to Negroes, which, the Negroes are not African Americans. They are, the Negroes, you are, the tribe of Judah. You are Judites, according to the Bible. That's who you are. Go from the tribe. You come from the tribe. You are the tribe of Judah. You are Israelite from the tribe of Judah. You Negroes. You're not black. You're not Afro-American. None of these bywords, and not what Jesse Jackson called, or pushed to call, have you Negroes be called black African American. Because those names go, they go back to two white people, Edomite devils, red devils, which are your enemies. None of those names African American goes back to a dark skinned, brown skinned man. None of them are Israelites. None of them are Israelites that are Edomites. That's why it's F Jesse Jackson. And a lot of you so-called Negroes, you should say F Jesse Jackson because of that. He gave you a false identity, man. Push a false identity on you. Which I don't get into about that, about the name African American, but but this guy right here, man, it's him, Al Sharpton, all these other false leaders of Israel, Israelites, pastors or whatever. The Most High Yahweh he's gonna bring judgment down on these false leaders of Israel, Israelites, and those that know they Israelites, the other Israelite camps that's pushing these false doctrines as well. The Most High Yahweh Yahweh gonna deal with them. But so I'm going to about this guy, man. So this Rev says AI overall overview. Well, Rev Jesse Jackson did not coin the term African American, but he was instrumental in popularizing it in the late 1980s as preferred alternative to black. In December 1988, Jackson argued that African American provided better cultural, historical, ancestral context for Americans of African descent, similar to hyphenated descriptions of other ethnic groups. Popularization in 1988, alongside other black leaders, Jackson spearheaded a movement to shift from black to African American to emphasize heritage, dignity, and cultural integrity. So this guy, so this guy, said that, the African American to emphasize heritage, dignity, and cultural integrity. You don't know, let's say the water, for the apostles, the water Yahweh shot for the apostles, the apostle Tahar, apostle Gabal, apostle Ramlan, apostle Rakar, the apostles for, and I said those before them for pushing this truth, putting out the truth of the Bible. The understanding of the word Lord Yahweh, who you so-called Negroes and Latino natives are, because because these guys, Jesse Jackson and so forth, Al Sharpton, push this false identity on you Negroes of being an African American. Saying it's a heritage and dignity and culture integrity. They don't know that these two names go back to two white people, two Edomite devils, red devils. How these names come about anyway. Where these names originated come from. He just put that on you Negroes as African American to make it sound good. Let's call them African American. Let's stop calling them black. And you Negroes, y'all should be like F Jesse Jackson, man, because of this, man. He gave y'all a false identity, a false, just put this name on you that has nothing to do with you. That's why him and Al Sharpton, all those that false leaders and false prophets or pastors F them, man. They leading you Negro, Latinos, and Native American Israelites the wrong way. The apostles and the elders of Bergen Stone, the Lord had the truth. I'll giving you the understanding who you are and pulling you in the right direction of the word, Lord Yahweh Shai, to give you understanding who you are, your heritage, and so forth, and your real history of who you is, but you're gonna have those Negro Latino natives. They ain't gonna listen. They're not gonna believe. 2/3 of Israelites, for that matter. Only the elect is gonna really understand the truth and believe it. That the apostles and elders, brother Graham don't teach and push. And come back to the real understanding of who they are according to the Bible. But so I'm not gonna make this too long. So I'm going to this name African American. Where this these names originate from. So Leo Africanus named Africa. The continent of Africa was not directly named after the Roman general Scipio Africanus. Rather, Scipio Africanus, Publius Cornelius Scipio, was given his cognomen from the land which the Romans called Africa after defeating, I think they say, Hannibal in North Africa during the Second Punic War. The Punic War. It says Scipio Africanus, a Roman general, 2036 through 183 BC, who earned the title Africanus, named it the African after winning the Battle of Zama, if I'm saying it right, in 202 BC. It said the name Africa, the Romans used the term Africa, Terra, land of the Afar, to refer to the region they conquered in the modern day Tanasa, not the entire continent. So they named it Africa, or part of a region, but not the whole continent, So, but just going to that's where the name come from, Leo Africanus, man. That's it come from a Roman general, so-called white man, Edomite devil, man, red devil, man. And you so-called Negro don't come from the loins. If you don't know what loins means, you don't come from the ball sack of a white man, so-called white man, Edomite devil. You come from the loins or ball sack, just trying to get you understand of that of a so-called, I'm gonna say so-called, but a dark-skinned, brown-skinned man, which Jacob, which name was later changed to Israel. You are an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. You come from Judah. Or I say, well, the forefather. You know what I'm saying? You come from Judah, right? You come from Judah. That's where you come from. You Negroes. You come from Judah. You are the tribe of Judah. You are the Judahites. So, you don't come from Leo Scipio Africanus. So I'll go from there. The name America originates from the Italian explorer Amerigo Vespucius, who first proposed that the lands discovered by Christopher Columbus were part of a new continent. In 1507, German cartographer Martin or Waldo something, I can't even pronounce all that, but Latinized America into a feminine form America for his world map. So this is where the word America come from, right? Amerigo Vespucius, like I say, it was Latinized, the Latinized Amerigo into a feminine form America, you know. So the German choreographer, cartographer Martin, that's a long name, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Latinized America into the feminine form America for his world map. So, like I say, this information is out there, but like I say, Negroes, they don't want to look nothing up. They don't want to read. They don't want to study. They don't want to ask questions and really ask themselves, is I'm really African American? Not because of Jesse Jackson pushing it, popularizing it, on you Negroes, but you got to make sure that you really go back. These two names doesn't make sense. I go back to this, you know what I'm saying? Just because you in America, like how you come from two places, it's stupid, right? Like I say, our people just don't consider, and I'm talking about Negro, Latino, they don't consider the names that been pushed on them, and who they really are, where they come from, They just go with what these like I say, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, whoever tell them that who they are, whatever. They follow them and they lead them to nothing but death, nothing but destruction, of themselves, and like I say, these guys did not lead the Negroes in the right direction, Israelites in general in the right direction at all. Especially according to the Bible. They get up there and quote scripture, but they don't know what the hell they up there talking about. Up there playing around, man. They all about money, man. But I ain't want to make this too long. So I'm going to get some scriptures to back this up. Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. So who are the children right there? That's talking about the so-called white man, Esau and my devils, man. They all children, man. They, they in power, man. They ain't messing up, they just destroying. They're messing up, man. They're destroying this place, man. The earth, and they messing with the food and so forth. They just messing up stuff, right? They push out lies and deception, amongst the people and so forth. They are the oppressor, right? That they are the enemy, the so-called white people, Edomite devils, the red devils, are the enemies to you, so-called Negro, Latino, Israelites, and women rule over them. So you got these women, they in league with Esau, as well. The Judite woman, the Negro woman, they in league with Esau, man, to keep the Negro, Latino, Native American Israelite men, in check, to keep them, from, rising up, or what you could say, trying not to be, on top, basically, right? They in league, they push all this bullshit, and like I say, the Negro woman, she played her part in breaking up the households, with that the feminine movement, they I said the Edomites and I say the Negro women are in league, man. They be in these positions where to keep the Negro, Latino, Native American Israelite man down, for the most part, especially the Negro, the Judite men, down, But read on, O my people, that which lead thee, O my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err, and destroy the way of their path. So that's what Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, all these other guys in these suits, and they caused the Negroes, Israelites, to cause thee to err, go in the wrong direction. They err, in calling you an African American. That's not correct. I'm talking about you Negroes. Y'all come from Judah. Y'all are Judites. Y'all Israelites. And I say they took you down a path of lies and deception, man. But only ones that woke up to the truth, knowing who they are, is the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Israelite, Native American, Native, Israelites. I hate saying Native American, but natives, right? The Israelites, right? The apostles, and the elders, Brother Mr. on the Lord, that pushed the truth. Those that ran into the truth, and the apostles, elders, Brother Graham Mr. on the teach the word, you have gotten an understanding of who you are, and much more. And like I said, the water you have watched shot for the apostles, for Apostle Hall, Apostle Gabriel, Apostle Ramlan, again, Apostle called those before them, has pushed this truth and brought out this truth, about who you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Natives are, according to the Bible. Because these other people, man, these other, sellout Israelites, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and so forth. They don't care about that. They don't care about you. They don't care about giving you the truth. They care about filling their pockets and their bank account, and get you just to comply, and to comply with the so-called white man. Esau Edomite devils want you to believe and so forth, man. In the lies and deception, But the elect has woken up from that, has come out of that lie and deception, and about what this so-called white man, Esau Edomite devils, or these pastors in these churches and so forth, these false leaders Israel has pushed, So go from there. And they won't make this too long. It's Jeremiah. Jeremiah 23:1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord Yahweh. Woe means destruction. So destruction to you, I say you pastors in the churches, I say Jesse Jackson dead, Al Sharpton, he next, and then so forth, right? And I say in these other Israelite camps that pushing these false doctrine, the Most High Yahweh Shai is going to destroy you. You false leaders of Israel that's pushing false doctrine and lies and deception amongst, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native, that are the Israelites, y'all, the Most High gonna deal with y'all, man. Most High Yahweh, Yahweh gonna deal with y'all, man. And we in those times, he's gonna bring that judgment down, you false leaders of Israel, Israelites, man, or Israel, false leaders of Israel. Jeremiah 23:2. Therefore, accept the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock, driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Lord Yahweh. Like I say, we in those times, man. The Most High Yahweh not playing games no more. He's not a power to be played with anyway. Y'all pushing, like I say, false doctrine, false information, false identities, upon, Negroes, calling African American, Jesse Jackson, popularizing it. He, like I say, then he coined it, but he popularized it. He pushed it. He pushed that movement of African America on the Negroes. And like I said, with the Negroes, y'all from the tribe of Judah. Y'all Judites. And y'all Israelites, according to the Bible. That's what y'all originally are and come from. You know? Let's see. It's like it. So I'm gonna go to Jeremiah 23:3. And I'm gonna say this, like I said, most of y'all he's gonna deal with a lot of these false pastor Israelites, man, and the false leaders of Israel in these times, man, going forward, man. Gonna hear a lot of more, these false leaders, pastors dying. Most of y'all Russian shot taking them out, man. Jeremiah 23:3. And I would gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries whither I had driven them, and I would bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. So we in those times, ain't the Most High, and I said, the apostles and Ellsberg and Stone. My Lord has truth, teaching His word, and I say the elect, is coming to the knowledge, wisdom, understanding the word, Lord Yahweh Shai. Like it's all about the elect. 2/3. Hey, if y'all want to stay in the mind frame of the world, believe in the lies and deception that the so-called man Esau might push, or these false pastors of Israel leaders, hey, so be you're gonna be destroyed. But the apostles, Ellsberg and Stone, are pushing the truth and gathering the elect, by the word of Lord Yahweh Shai, to be sealed and have mercy by the Lord Yahweh Shai and be delivered in these times of going forward. But Jeremiah 23:4. I'm end off of this. I ain't gonna make this too long. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, except the Lord Yahweh. So the Most High Yahweh Shai has set up the shepherds. What are shepherds? The apostles. I said Apostle Tal, Apostle Ramla, Apostle Gabal, Apostle Makar, so forth, and those before them. He set, starting with Abba Bivens. He started with Abba Bivens. And on down. Abba Bivens. Marsha, King Marsha, and on down. But most of y'all wish I had set up, right? And now, like I say, in these times, like I say, the apostles. And right now, the apostles' great millstone, that the Lord Yahweh Shai, got set up, to teach you the understanding of His word and truth, and it ain't no lacking, ain't no lacking in what the apostles, and the elders are doing as far as like teaching the word, teaching the truth to you so-called Negro, Latino natives, who you are and so forth, man. Come back to wisdom, understanding of the word, Lord Yahweh Shai. And let you know who your enemies is and who your enemies are and so forth, man, in these times, and much more, understand of the prophecies, what's to come, the times that we're in. Because like I said, these other pastors ain't doing it, and false leaders of Israel, they teaching you bullshit. They leading you to nothing but death and destruction, leading you astray. And like I said, Most High Yahweh Shai gonna deal with them, man. He gonna bring His great wrath of judgment is gonna come down on these false leaders of Israel, in these times going forward, So with that, I didn't want to make this too long. So again, I'd like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Kakadash, to the apostle elders, to the sister and brothers, to the few Akwaf, sisters that do listen, keep the faith, and Yahushua keep fighting with that. I said, Shalom.